So in light of all of the COVID stuff that's been happening, I've been onboarding a lot of new clients. And one of the most common questions I get while we're still in the prospecting stage is, how do I work with you? Like, how does this whole thing actually happen? And what's funny is that it's different for every freelancer. So I love to share like this set process that everybody uses, but everybody's got a different tech stack, everybody's got a different way of working. So every freelance writer that you look at is going to have a different process. So if this is your first time working with a contractor or a freelance writer, it can feel really confusing. So that's why I wanted to share my process that I've honed over the last 2 years and what I do. So the first step of me working with a business owner is that first call, right? So this is after somebody realizes, ooh, I need content. I'm going to email Kenzi. And from there, we set up a call. And this first call is not a sales call. I know a lot of writers like think they have to do a hard pitch right now, but that's not what I do. My first call is to make sure that we can work together. Is it a good fit? So I'll ask about the brand, give me a quick elevator pitch, like quick overview of your brand and what your goals are. Like, why do you want this content? What is your purpose? Because sometimes, because I used to be a marketer, and what I hear is that they actually need more than writing, and I'm not actually equipped to do that. And then I tell these clients, hey, you really need a marketing agency and not just a blogger. And I know that's losing business on my part, but you have to do what's right for your customers, right? And if they do end up needing a writer, I still have to make sure what kind of content they want is a fit for the type of content that I write. If they want this really technical, dry white paper, that's not really my thing. I'm more of a blog, fun website kind of person. And then I'm also looking at personality, right? I want to work with people who are not only passionate about what they do, they care about what's going on, and that they also are fit for me, right? I want to work with people that are fun, motivated, energetic, because it's no fun working with clients who you don't enjoy, right? So it has to be this mutual thing where you both are going to enjoy working together. If your personalities don't mesh, it's going to be just an uphill slog of trying to make it work. So this is the stage where you try to make sure it's a good fit before you go any further. And the last thing I evaluate during the call is the amount of work and then my workload, because I've got a lot of clients. I have to make sure that I have the room to take on the work that that client needs. And if I can't, I will actually refer them to some of the writers that I've come to know and trust in my own network. If that initial call goes well and I think there's a fit personality wise, with my talent and their needs, then I'll send over an estimate. And I just send over a PDF estimate to their email, something written that they can look at, and hope that they say yes. The third step, if they accept that estimate, is to do a kickoff call. These are more common for my website clients. Usually, if someone needs a blog, I don't need to have a kickoff call unless it's a very long, important, like cornerstone piece. Typically, people will send me a brief of some kind. They'll say, I want to blog about paid ads, and here's the parameters, and I work off of that. So this call isn't always necessary, but some people prefer to have a call because I'm a writer and I like doing everything in a text way, but some people feel like they can express themselves better over a call. And that's why they're hiring a writer, right? So once we have clarified what the project looks like and what the parameters are, they kick back and relax. Well, not really, they don't relax. They work on other stuff and let me worry about the content. And I start writing with my 3-day writing process, which I actually outlined in another video if you scroll back a little bit. Some clients want to see either an outline or a draft before the piece is actually finalized, and I'm happy to do that. So that's kind of an extra step that I do, but only by request because it's usually not necessary. It's more common if it's my first time working with someone and we want to make sure that the topic is good and that the content is going in the right direction, but it's not always necessary. Once I've written that first draft, I send it over. I work exclusively in Google Docs because Word docs and attachments get messy really fast. Tracking changes in them is a nightmare. You always have to wonder if you even have the most correct version of the document. One time somebody edited the wrong version and it was just a mess. So everything's in Google Docs. I send them over a link, and they have permissions in that document to either do suggestions with track changes in that Google Doc or to do comments. And if you don't know how to do that, I encourage you to learn how, because that's a really common way for us writers to request feedback. Once they've left all of the comments in the Google Doc and it's ready to go, they'll shoot me back an email saying, hey, I reviewed it. I've left comments if you can check them out. And usually I can do most edits that same day. It's very rare that I have something that's so involved that it takes a few days. It happens. So I'm not going to say like I always turn stuff around within 12 hours, but usually I do. And at that point, it's kind of like a back and forth in Google Docs. All of my contracts usually include 2 rounds of revisions for the content. Sometimes it's one, it just depends on the contract that we have in place. But once we've done those 2 rounds of revisions, I tell the client, okay, it's good to go. You can share it into the world. Some freelancers will actually post it for you. And if that's important to you as a business owner, always ask, because I personally do not post content to my client sites for various reasons. Not everybody offers it. So always ask to see if they're comfortable with promoting or posting the content on your behalf. If you're ever confused, if you're evaluating working with a freelancer, just ask and they'll be more than happy to tell you their process. If they don't have a set process, that's probably a red flag that you should consider, because everybody has a process of some kind, right? And if they don't have one, it probably means they're super new or disorganized, and you don't want either of those. But more than anything, when you're evaluating someone's process, you have to make sure it's a good fit for you as a business owner, right? You want somebody whose personality meshes with you. I think that's very important. But also, does their workflow match with what you need? Some of the enterprise clients I've worked with have very particular workflows, and some freelancers cannot fit into that workflow, and it's actually not a good match. So you always want to ask about their process when you're evaluating someone. So until next week, keep writing or hire a freelancer to do the writing for you. I'm not here to judge.